Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome to our Monday, May 16th school board meeting. I just want to remind everyone, or if you'd like to speak to the board, address the board, you needed to sign up on the sign-up sheets. With that, we'll move right into our agenda, approval, deletions, additions. Dr. Baracco.
Thank you, Mrs. Seuss. You do have one amendment to the agenda. It's under Roman numeral 7D1, professional leave request under Mrs. Castaneda's agenda. Thank you.
Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mrs. Kelly.
Second.
Second by Dr. Malco. Any discussion, questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Is there any correspondence, Mrs. Kelly?
Nothing to report on this evening.
Thank you. We'll move right into our liaison committee updates. Mr. Marshall?
Thank you. Under Personnel Interview Committee, nothing to report at this point.
Thank you. Mrs. Kelly?
Cherville Redevelopment Commission, I don't have anything to report on this evening. Cherville Parks Department, splash pad will hopefully be open the end of June. Stay tuned for more information. Also, if there's any of the high school students who are still looking for a summer job, Cherville Parks Department is hiring. Awesome place to work for the summer. That's all.
Thank you. Dr. Medlin?
With regard to the Dyer Redevelopment Commission, they were talking at Thursday's Town Council meeting and the Redevelopment Committee meeting about transit development districts, which are similar to TIF allocated money. So this is something that the state's still unsure how this is all going to come into play, but we will definitely have to keep an eye on that. Thank you.
What is it called again?
Transit development districts.
Thank you. Dr. Malco?
Yes, for Lake Central Education Foundation. The grants are out for summer, but they are not due until in the fall. So that gives you plenty of time over the summer to write your grants. I believe that they are, Melody, are you here? $750 amounts. So that can buy you quite a few items for your classroom. So again, you can start doing the planning, but that won't come to fruition until school is up and running. I have nothing from Dyer Parks Department unless Alicia Myers is here. Is Alicia here? Okay. Okay. And then on the legislative, that's on hold for right now. So that would be it, Mrs. Seuss.
Thank you. And I have nothing for the St. John Redevelopment Committee. And as far as Dollars for Scholars, last Wednesday we had our awards ceremony. We were able to give 47 well-deserving senior scholarships. So that was a nice evening to attend. And for those that all donated, came, spoke, thank you. So with that, we'll move on to our official school board business topics consent agenda. Dr. Baracco.
Thank you again, Mrs. Seuss. Seek board approval for the minutes from our special board meeting, May 2nd, our regular board meeting, May 2nd, and then board approval of the claims, payroll, and extracurricular expenditures you received in your packets last week.
Move to approve.
We have a motion by Mr. Marshall.
Second.
Second by Ms. Kelly. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. There are no public comments regarding action items, so we'll move to our official school board business topics regular agenda. Dr. Baracco.
Thank you. Our first agenda item this evening is to recognize our retirees for this year. It's nice to see a lot of people in the crowd. Sad to see some people for maybe the last board meeting, but it's good to see a lot of their peers here to celebrate their careers with them. I'm going to move down front with the board, and Mrs. Mucha is going to read some comments about our retirees as they come up and receive a certificate, or item of gratuity from the school corporation.
I'll wait till everybody goes. I'll be last.
Our first one this evening is Tim Bannon. Tim has been an asset to the business department since his arrival at LC. He's been a huge resource to many teachers, always willing to help a hand and offer a kind word. He greeted students daily with a smile and a hello and taught them the tools needed for good business etiquette. Students always had great things to say about him and his class, especially his Look into the Future project. He goes above and beyond as a teacher, helping his students succeed by praising, encouraging, and gently pushing when needed. He's kind, compassionate, and has been a driving force in the success of the business department. Tim has earned the respect of students and staff by the way he conducts himself and his classes. He will be greatly missed, but we wish him well in retirement. Tim Bannon. Ron Frederick. Ron has served the Lake Central community for 23 years as an educator and 19 years as the varsity girls track and field coach. These titles, however, are hardly a match for the lasting impact he's had on our Lake Central family. He served as Lake Central High School's English department chair, successfully leading one of the largest departments at the high school. Ron's high standards and love of literature strengthened his deep commitment to not only his department, but also his classroom. His honors and AP level students maintain an unrivaled respect for Mr. Frederick, a respect that's been built on the relationships and rapport that he fostered in the classroom. In his 19 years as track and field head coach, he has a career record of 1,007 to 31. 18 IHSAA section champions, 11 regional championships, 15 DOC regular season champions, 11 undefeated regular seasons, and a 64-meet DOC winning streak. He has been a 7 times Northwest Indiana Post-Tribune girls track and field coach, 10 times Coach of the Year, 14-time Association of Track and Field Coaches, and a 3-time Indiana Coach of Girls Sports District 1 Coach of the Year, Ron Frederick. Dee Dee Logan. Dee Dee is retiring after 33 and a half years in education. Her teaching career has included 3 years in Louisiana, 1 year in a Chicago Catholic school, 18 years teaching grades 1, 2, and 3 for Lake Central, before accepting her first principal position in 2005 at Berger Elementary in Griffith. She came back to us in 2009 when she was hired as principal of Bibbage Elementary. Since that time, she has brought insight, organization, inspiration, joy, contagious laughter, and a presence that's much more of a friend than a colleague to elementary administration team. She's well respected by our corporation and loved by anyone who has the pleasure to know her. Dee Dee and her husband Phil are excited to finally move to their retirement home in Crawfordville, Florida with their daughter Sarah. She has not given me the address. I have worked with Dee Dee in 2 school systems, and I can attest she's an unbelievable principal and an even better friend. Dee Dee Logan. Tom Clark. Tom, this was written by Ed Beck. I remember when WGN came to do a special on Tom in regards to the Veterans Project that he and his students have been working on since he first came to Lake Central Schools. One of Tom's current students said, "Mr. Clark is real. He's not putting on an act for the cameras. His enthusiasm is here every day, and it's obvious that he loves his job." I found this bringing me back to 1989 when I was in Mr. Clark's class, when I remember that very same enthusiasm. I know he's won some very prestigious awards, and he's had the opportunity to meet some very influential people. But what I and many of his students will remember most about Tom is his passion for the content and his dedication to the capabilities of his students. His Veterans Project basically started with a group of kids and some quarters calling Washington, D.C. from the payphone, remember those? in the school lobby to get information about veterans from Lake Central High School. The determination of these students and Tom's commitment to the project led to a museum constructed in Cherville that showcases our local veterans and what they did for all of us. I know that Lake Central High School will miss all the things that Tom brought to us. I also know he and Marcia will be having a lot of fun traveling around the country. I wish them the best as they move on to their next adventure. Tom Clark. Kathy Maychek. It has been truly a pleasure to have Kathy as a member of the Protzman staff. She has been a staple here for 17 years. She started as a lunchroom aide in August of '05, then a paraprofessional in January of '08. Kathy has worked throughout the building supporting students with a smile and love for every student. She has been an essential piece to the Protzman puzzle. Kathy will be truly missed, but we're so happy for her as she'll have extra time to relax and spend with her family. Kathy Maychek. Cynthia Della Costa is retiring as a paraprofessional from Coling Elementary School after 20 years of service. In her time at Coling, Cynthia always preferred to take all the recess supervision spots with the Coling students. That's a woman for you. With the weather around here, it's hard to find a para that enjoyed that duty as much as Cynthia did. In her days at Coling, Cynthia enjoyed coordinating student-friendly dress-up days with her work buddy, Mrs. S. She's been enjoying traveling with her husband, spending time with her 3-year-old granddaughter, Taylor, and having more time with her daughter, Marcy, as well as her son, Steve Borowitsky, you know what I mean, who happened to be our district network engineer. Cynthia. Sarah Ankowiak. Sarah is a valued member of the Watson family for many years. She was our instructional technology assistant and ran our computer lab. She met with all K-4 students on a weekly basis. She was a hard-working staff member who regularly stayed after hours when her day was over to work in her classroom. Sarah was always willing to help with a smile on her face. Her dedication to student, staff, and Watson families will be missed. We wish her well. Sarah. She's not there. Donna Yankee began her life at Lake Central Schools in 1984 as a paraprofessional at Pfeiffer. In 1989, she was hired as a secretary, and in 1999, she moved over to be the bookkeeper. During her tenure at Pfeiffer, she often took the role of go-to for information regarding book fees, ordering books, and all things money-related. Auditors applauded her work. She was respected throughout the corporation. She will be remembered at school for her unbelievably strong work ethic, her devotion to her family, keeping dog treats at school for unexpected visitors from our furry friends, her brownies and carrot cake, which seriously was the best, and the strong bond of friendship among the people who knew her best. Donna Yankee. Mickey Zolfo. Mickey has positively impacted the lives of children and their families at Pfeiffer Elementary since the fall of 2007. That's 15 years. Before coming to Pfeiffer, she taught in the Munster schools for another 12 and a half years. That adds up to a lot of families who are privileged enough to have her influence in their lives. Her consistent and continual positive spirit have always been contagious. Anyone would be hard-pressed to find a stronger advocate for what's best for students. I think I speak for everyone at Pfeiffer when I say, when I grow up someday, this has to be Doug, I want to be as young as Mickey will always be. Her Pfeiffer family will miss everything about Mrs. Zolfo, but we wholeheartedly wish her an absolutely joyous future. Mickey Zolfo. Beth Gonzalez. Beth will be retiring as a school psychologist after 38 years of service. She started her career with NISEC as an intern in 1983 and then was hired at Lake Central in the 2000 and 2001 school year, where her primary schools were Holman, Coling, and Bibbage, although she helped with evaluations in other places as well. For retirement, Beth is most looking forward to being able to go to the Valpool Y and actually get on an elliptical. She also plans to take a math class since she's always wanted to learn calculus. I know. Volunteer more at her church and is looking forward to a Canada-New England cruise in September. Beth handled every case with grace and was a natural when it came to helping families navigate the evaluation and special education process. She will be missed by many. Karen Starr was an integral part of Lake Central preschool program. She welcomed to the program when I came into the district in 2007 and helped me develop my skills in working with preschool students. Her knowledge of early development and caring approach to working with our youngest learners was inspiring. Karen made families feel at ease as they entered the school system for the very first time. She has a great sense of humor and was a great person to laugh with after a long day of evaluations or case conferences. She mentored many members of our current speech and preschool staff, and her positive influence on the program will continue. Karen Starr. Cindy Fort. Cindy has always set a high standard in her classroom, executes it with the greatest of intentions, and holds students to that standard. Students may not always be in sync with Miss Fort when they first have her, but they always come back to show their appreciation for holding them accountable and teaching them math. Cindy takes pictures of each class and puts them up in her classroom every year. The students like seeing their pictures year after year in her classroom. I'm sure more of those will be added to her scrapbook. The level of professionalism Cindy models for both Grimmer students and staff is phenomenal. She's about students and getting the job done well and right. She will be missed. Cindy Ford. Adrienne Bielfeld. Adrienne can always be counted on to go to for advice. She has risen to the challenge year after year with difficult schedules. No matter what life has thrown her way, she has never stopped working hard to get her students all the things that they need. She gives of her own time and doesn't miss a beat. She's quiet in her own way, but she always delivers the life lessons that her students need. She's been an active member and building representative of LCTA for 16 plus years. It will be extremely difficult to fill the void she's leaving behind, as it's always hard to replace a gem. She will be missed. Adrienne. Susan DePasco. Susan worked as a paraprofessional at Grimmer Middle School for many years. She worked in the classroom assisting teachers, giving academic and personal support to students, and was always willing to do the extra tasks around the school. She was known for her upbeat personality and her flexibility when her job required on-the-spot changes and adjustments. She will be missed at Grimmer, and we wish her all the best in the future. Susan. Mrs. Zorko Balak. Zorka started working for the Lake Central School System on May 16, 2005. On July 24, 2006, she joined the custodial staff at Grimmer Middle School. She always took pride in keeping the rooms clean and helping others. Her sense of humor helped break up the long days. If somebody was laughing, she was nearby. She will be missed by the entire Grimmer staff. Zorka. Dolores Strouch. Dolores retired from Lake Central School Corporation this past winter. She was a custodian at Watson Elementary School. Dolores was an important part of our custodial staff and helped keep the building in great shape. She's very kind and dependable. Although Watson was sad to see Dolores retire, we're happy she's able to enjoy life with her family. She will always be part of the Watson family. We wish her well. She'll be missed. Dolores. Judy? Bill Gray. During a 32-year teaching career at Kaler, Bill has made a lasting impression on thousands of students and colleagues. While at Kaler and LC, he served as a PE teacher, coach, athletic director, and a mentor. He also volunteered his time and expertise to serve on the school and district safety teams, which I really appreciated. Back in the day, he served his community as a firefighter and an EMT. He utilized his skills countless times at school to help students and staff in need. He was a favorite fan at Kaler as his former students and athletes always came back to see him. There is no doubt Retiree will find him lounging at the beach at every opportunity. Your humor, dedication, and yes, booming loud voice will be sorely missed at Kaler. Enjoy your well-deserved retirement. Bill Gray. Rita Velasquez. Rita Velasquez. Rita has served students for 14 years at Kaler, first as a FACS teacher and then as an applied skills teacher. Although Rita is very soft-spoken, she's a strong advocate for the students in her classroom. She always looked for opportunities to make sure her students felt included in the classroom and throughout the school. Over the years, she has made positive and lasting connections with her student, family, and colleagues. She worked tirelessly to prepare for her students and was often seen at school working late into the evening and even coming in on weekends. Her kindness and dedication to the student, staff, and family at Kaler will never be forgotten. We hope you enjoy your retirement. Rita Velasquez. Ruth Bonacci, or Dr. Ruth. During her 15 years in education, with the last 3 at Kaler, Ruth is selflessly dedicated to help her students achieve. As a lifelong learner herself, she has worked tirelessly to find new and innovative strategies to help her students learn, and she's always happy to share that with her fellow students. She's a true advocate for her students and leaves behind big shoes to fill. In the short time she's been at Kaler, she has made a huge impact on both staff and students. Affectionately known as Kaler as Dr. Ruth for the white lab coat she wore at school, her kind spirit and her positive attitude will be missed by all. Best wishes in retirement, and once a Kaler Colt, always a Kaler Colt. Pam Hoffmaster. Pam Hoffmaster has taught for 30 years, started teaching 5th grade in Illinois in 1980 and taught for 6 years and was then able to stay home with her 2 boys, Dave and Phil, for a number of years before starting at Coling. Pam has been praying for and teaching Coling students for the past 24 years. She taught 5th grade until their move to Clark Middle School in 2008 and since then has been teaching 4th graders. Pam's heart for all children, not just those in her own classroom, has been evident in her passion for teaching math and science. She's a teacher who other teachers will always miss because she has been the guiding light to many. Not to worry, though. Her enthusiasm for teaching will continue. Instead of hearing Mrs. Hoffmaster, she'll be hearing Grammy more and more, with her 5 current grandchildren and twin grandbabies arriving this fall. John, Pam's husband, also recently retired, and they're looking forward to traveling, spending time with their 2 boys and their families. Pam Hoffmaster is a beloved fixture at Coling who will be missed by students, parents, and all staff members. We wish her well. Pam Hoffmaster. Susan Torres. Susan's a graduate of Lake Central, has been serving the students and families of Lake Central since 1994. She started as a Westlake parent mentor and continued in that position until 1999, then went on to work as a primetime aide and a substitute teacher. She completed her student teaching in 2003 and then accepted her first position as a fifth grade teacher the following year. She moved to second grade in 2004, completed her coursework for high ability license at Indiana University Bloomington in 2013, and has been Bibbage's second grade high ability teacher ever since, totaling 18 years of teaching service. Besides being an extremely supportive colleague, Sue's ability to integrate literacy units into her hands-on science lessons made her classroom an engaging environment that sparked creativity in every student. Retirement will allow Sue to have some more time for gardening and traveling and spending some time for her family. Congratulations, Sue. Millie Hinton, and then Karen Bowman. Millie Hinton. There she is. When I think of Millie, the word master craftsman comes to mind. The definition of a master craftsman is a person who's an expert, highly proficient, and experienced in a craft or other skilled occupation. Millie is a true master of her craft. She does her job with student success in the forefront of her mind. She's passionate about children and always strives to do what's best for her students. Millie's professional life took her down many roads, the Diocese of Gary, River Forest, and then making her home in Lake Central School Corporation. She taught first, second, third, fourth, and reading. Millie's wonderful career spanned 28 years. One would say it's time to relax, but knowing Millie, she's just beginning a new journey with her husband, Jesse. Congratulations, Millie. You will be certainly missed at Protsman. Congratulations. Karen Bowman. Karen's an incredible person. Kind, considerate, compassionate, respected, hardworking, sincere, and most of all, a friend and colleague to many at LC. She's always gone above and beyond for all students, from helping students open their locker to CPS reports, charting career paths for high school, RTI, special ed conference, meeting with parents, and assisting when tragedies have happened. Mrs. Bowman is always somebody that you can count on. She's dedicated and has a strong sense of family because that's an integral part of her life, just like her faith. After 37 years, Karen's decided to retire. This year, Karen was honored as Indiana Middle School Counselor of the Year. What an incredible career. Good luck, and we'll miss you, Karen. Karen Bowman. Lane Whiting. There she is. Lane has been a driver with Lake Central since 1991. She's been an active advocate for drivers. She was a good listener and problem solver for many drivers. I'm going to take it up to her. She drove bus 17 for most of her career. She was well liked by her students and will be definitely missed this year during her absence. Always willing to help out if she could. She will now enjoy spending time with family and friends. Lane Whiting. There you go. You're fine. After this many years, we can wait for you. Pat Mizek. Pat has been a driver with Lake Central since 1992. Very friendly with her students and fostered great relationships with them. Always had a smile and a hello for everyone. She was active in the transportation department's safety teams and could be counted on to add some fun to the characters she played during those skits. She will now get to spend time with her husband, children, and grandchildren, which is a subject she is more than happy to talk about. Pat Mizek. Judy Whittaker. Judy has been an aide with Lake Central since 1992. Drivers she worked with have said she was quiet yet extremely dedicated to her students. Most recently, she worked with Yvonne, and they were a terrific team. Judy always went the extra mile in everything she did, either for her driver, her students, or the department. Thank you, Judy. Ann Van Ham. Ann's been a driver with Lake Central since 1998. Drivers had called her the kindest person they have known, and she's got a great sense of humor. She was always willing to let the trainers use her bus, and they were happy because her bus was always in great shape. She had one of the best attendance records, often not missing one day for many school years. She was well known for dressing up at holidays and famous for her Santa outfit. Ann Van Ham. Carol Reedy. Carolyn has been a driver with Lake Central since 2001. She was very well liked by all the students on her bus, always had a smile and a wonderful comment to brighten their day. Drivers recalled she was a spitfire, but also extremely nice to everyone that she met. She was a go-getter, working many trips and working several jobs in addition to driving a bus. Carolyn Reddy. Ed Vargo. Ed worked at Lake Central for almost 39 years, serving students and staff. His longevity and knowledge of the schools made him the local HC historian. He was a very hard worker who would take on any job and task asked of him and complete it successfully. He will be missed by many at LC. The women at Central Office already missed because he was the one who made the first pot of coffee in the morning. We wish Ed nothing but happiness in his much-earned retirement. Ed Vargo. Gail Hatterich. Gail has been an exemplary employee who has given 110% every day in all she does. She's always gone above and beyond. She does a great job of running the breakfast program at the high school, always making sure there's enough food to feed the students. She's been in food service at the high school for 22 years. The manager at high school cafeteria, Wendy, stated, "I've worked with Gail for 20 of those years, and I can say for certain she will be truly missed. There are just not enough employees like Gail." Gail Hatterich. Josephine Alton. Josephine retired from food service at Bibbage with 10 years of service. It's appropriate that her nickname is Cookie because the students loved Cookie. Cookie's main focus has always been about serving the students. The Bibbage cafeteria manager, Pauline, stated, "To know Cookie is to love Cookie." Her main goal has always been kids first, and she took the best care of them. She can never be replaced, and she will be dearly missed by all. Josephine Alton. Robin Jones. Robin has been the nicest people we've had the pleasure to work with. Friendly, fun, and a great sense of humor. She was a dedicated LCSC employee with 20 years of service and never had a bad word to say about anybody. She tried her best to keep her section clean and volunteered to help when the shift was shorthanded. At times when her life became challenging at work and at home, she was very appreciative when coworkers stepped in to help her and no matter what the issue was, she kept her calm and pleasant personality. Being the devoted wife, mother, and grandmother that she is, she looks forward to helping her family when she retired. We wish Robin the best in her retirement, and we already miss her. Robin Jones. Millie Biljek. Millie began her employment in August of 2000 at Lake Central High School, then transferred over to Pfeiffer in 2003, continued to work until September of 2022. She'll continue to work. During her time here at Pfeiffer, her work ethic has been top-notch. We said for years that if Millie cleans the area, you could eat off the floor with no worry. She takes incredible pride in her work, as Pfeiffer is her home. She'll be missed not only because of her work, because of what she is, a Pfeiffer treasure. Millie Biljek.
Before we get to our Teacher of the Year celebration, can we please have one last round of applause for all of our retirees? Prior to presenting this year's Teacher of the Year, we'd like to mention this year's finalists and present them with a certificate recognizing this honor. They're backwards. All of our finalists were nominated by a fellow teacher, and our former Teacher of the Year award winners, who are still active teachers, selected this year's finalist from a total of 26 nominees. So before I go on, let me say that to be nominated at all out of 550 teachers is an honor. After soliciting votes from staff, our former winners then met in person to discuss all credentials in order to select this year's winner. Our finalists in alphabetical order are Shannon D. St. Jean, Pfeiffer Elementary. Valerie Gardner, Lake Central High School. Christopher Guzman, Kaler Middle School. Pam Hoffmaster, Coling Elementary. Charity Lyda, Watson Elementary. And now it is time to recognize this year's Teacher of the Year, Larry Zach, Coling Elementary. I can't hear you. Before we take a picture of these dedicated staff members, I'd like to read a couple sentences from the nomination forms that we received regarding Larry. Larry has dedicated years to the students of Coling Elementary, making a lasting impact on their lives. He is passionate about teaching his students the fundamentals of music. Our kids like going to music and often mention it as their favorite special. Larry is also always willing to help staff members with anything they need. Congratulations, Larry. So we are going to go on to some other exciting business here in a moment. But I want to thank everybody for coming out. I want to thank all of our retirees and our Teacher of the Year nominees for their dedicated service. Have a nice evening. Thank you all for coming.
Pardon? I know.
Anna's out.
Okay, I will move on with my final item of the evening, and this is to seek board approval for some board policies that we discussed in detail at our last work session. And in the past, if we didn't make any significant changes that I needed to report back at the board meeting, this board has approved the policies in their entirety at one time. So since there were no discrepancies or discussions about those items, I seek board approval for a Roman numeral 7A3 at this time.
So moved.
We have a motion by Dr. Malko,
Second.
second by Dr. Medlin. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll move on to our Director of Human Resources Personnel, Mrs. Mucha.
Thank you. I'm asking for approval of the personnel packet that was in with your packet.
So moved.
We have a motion by Dr. Malko,
Second?
second by Mrs. Kelly. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Also in your packet, there was a request for me to approve any certified personnel between now and the beginning of school so we can get the best and brightest as fast as we can.
Move to approve.
We have a motion by Mr. Marshall,
Second.
a second by Dr. Medlin. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Our Director of Secondary Education, Ms. Castaneda.
Thank you. I am seeking your approval for the professional leave request, the revised copy that you received this evening.
Move to approve.
We have a motion by Mr. Marshall,
Second?
second by Ms. Kelly. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Move right along to Mr. James, our Director of Business Services.
Thank you. My only item is to seek your approval for the donations that were included in your board packet.
Motion to approve?
We have a motion by Mrs. Kelly, and I will second that. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we do have one speaker for our public comments, and Ms. Olivia Connolly. If you'll please state your name and address for the record, please.
Olivia Connolly, 9354 East Oak Ridge Drive.
Thank you.
My name is Olivia Connolly, and I'm a student at Clark Middle School. The reason I'm here today is because I've been constantly dress coded, wearing wearing jeans with holes that are above my knees. In the student handbook, in page 11, section 18, bullet point 5, all shorts and skirts must be no shorter than the fingertips of the students when arms are at the side. And on the same page, in the same section, in bullet point 6, the text states, Holes in the clothing should be no higher than the knee. I've been dress coded in the school with holes that would be here, but if I cut my jeans to shorts, then it would be perfectly fine. The skirt I'm wearing now is fine, but if I was wearing jeans with the holes where my skirt ends, it would not be fine. So the reason I'm here is to change the dress code where holes can start where the fingertips end.
Okay. Did you want to, don't want to put you on the spot, Dr. Varacco?
No, you've raised an interesting point, so we'll take it under advisement, and we will be visiting those rules here very shortly, so
Thank you.
we'll see what we can do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we have no other public comments, so we will move on to our board comments and consideration of future agenda items. Mr. Marshall.
Oh, thank you. It is certainly gratifying to see all the faces out there. I know in my marriage, my wife was a teacher of long standing who finally retired after 43 years at her school system. So I know what people are feeling out there, at least I think I do. And it's wonderful to see the faces and the joy and the enthusiasm, and I wanted to wish everyone well. Obviously, they're not here to hear that, but maybe they are in a way. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Kelly.
I'll kind of echo Howard, just congratulations to all of our retirees, and thank you for your service to the school.
Thank you. Dr. Medlin.
I'll echo the same sentiment. Thank you to all the teachers in the district. Thank you.
Dr. Malco.
That was a pretty cool night, you have to say. Yeah, it was awesome. It's good to see people I haven't seen in years and to congratulate them. And of course, it's a bittersweet night, needless to say, losing, we won't be able to see some individuals that are so powerful and so effective for our students. And I do believe that our spring sports students are doing quite well. And I think I saw on Pfeiffer's sign, we're in the home stretch, hang in there. So you just remind everybody we're in that home stretch, so hang in there and don't give up. And look forward to seeing everyone at graduation. And thank you.
And I just wanted to make mention that the boys track and field, that they earned first place for the first time since 2012, so I thought that was pretty cool to read. And the War Memorial on Saturday, if you haven't had a chance, make sure you stop and see that wall.
Mrs. Suze, you know, we forgot to mention that Kevin Mathis has been selected as the National High School Coach of the Year.
For dance, yeah.
For quite an accomplishment. So, and also with the track, the girls continue to do very well with their DAC awards.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
I do too.
yeah, it's just so exciting. So I assume softball's doing well and baseball, although I don't know. I don't follow it. I mean, I do, but
Right.
yeah,
Their
never
season
mind.
is still continuing. I think they go even after school
Okay.
ends, but
we just like to talk. You guys don't care, do you? It's late. You want to go, I know.
so I wish everyone well the next 5 days. And with that, we will turn it over to Dr. Varacco, board calendar of future activities.
Yeah, so let's hope for some really good weather next Wednesday at 6:30 on the Lake Central football field for our graduation ceremony, and our next meeting here is June the 6th. Thank you.
Thank you. Do
Move
we have a
for
motion?
adjournment.
We have a motion by Mr. Marshall,
Second?
second by Ms. Kelly. All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.